Oh my goodness. I need to plug something in. Hold on, real quick. Okay, people, I am way overdue for my video. I know it's only been 2 days, but I'm plugging in and getting started, and everything is a mess. My brain is like a freaking train wreck, you guys, and I'll tell you why. It's because of YouTube. It's because of this Pitty jitty crap. Is your brain a train wreck too? Because I don't think I'm alone on this. How's my mic? How's my sound? Fred, please hit your like button. Make another comment if you're still here. Thank you for being here. I only have one person. Is it just you, Fred, or did you go away and somebody else took your spot? I want to try to get the mic a little bit closer to me because it seemed like in the last video that would have been a good thing. Man, don't touch nothing, right? Okay, so I've got my phone here. I've got my notes. I've got my remote control. I got all my freaking lights, camera, action, Jackson. It's just a little much. So, Fred, thanks for being here. Hit your like button. I think you did already, but anybody else on replay crew, or if you're coming on in, please hit your like button. Is the sound okay? Is the lighting okay? Make sure you're still subscribed if you are subscribed, and if you're not, consider it, please. Share a video of mine with somebody that you think might like my ridiculous channel. Because, I'm just not doing the whole like YouTube clickbait crap. That's just not okay with me at all. Like, it makes me want to quit watching YouTube. Honestly, it makes me want to quit doing YouTube. But I love this. I love you. So thanks for being here. Turn on your notification bell to ring. I'm really mad about lack of justice. So I don't even know where to begin. I put a picture of Micah Miller and JP Diddy in their costumes as my thumbnail. So maybe I'll just begin right there because I don't want to be like completely all over the place, like a hot mess like I am. And that's just how it's going to be. So I'm going to try to streamline. Everything I say is simply my opinion for the sake of hoping to start a conversation, open up a discussion, learn something. All my videos are educational, hopefully. YouTube is an entertainment platform. I think the mic is all right. I mean, I can get closer if I need to. Oh, I can even bring it closer to me, but then I'll knock everything down, right? Are you ready? Ah! Nothing broke, don't worry. But this is why I won't touch anything, because it's just like I get jinxed. Absolutely get jinxed. Okay. Is that good? I've got a ton of notes. I've got too much notes. I'm always concerned about not having enough notes or not being able to find my notes. I have so much Can you hear me now? Hello, hello. See, it's not doing the thing right there. Like usually, yeah, okay, it is. The things are moving. Okay. It should be working. Thank you, dear. Okay, here we are trying to get this crap together. Oh man. I'm just going to start over, I guess. This is annoying. Oh, Fred, you're here. I was just going to undo it and start all over fresh. Ah, that was weird. So, I always say sometimes there's just like technical difficulty, and then other times you got to wonder. You got to wonder. I have so much to say. I guess they're trying to mute me because they don't want me to say nothing, right? They are out to get me. No, I'm not paranoid. Is the sound okay? That was so freaking annoying. Everything went down. Nothing should have gone down. I mean, the thing came unplugged for a second, but okay, let's fly. Here we are, 13 minutes. 13 is my lucky number. I got my coffee in me. I've got my water. I've got my phone, and I have it plugged in because it's not completely charged up. And it's 2:00. It's Sunday afternoon. It's 12/22/24. So I've been wanting to touch base on the Idaho4 case. And of course, I have like a hair on my lip. I've been wanting to touch base on that. Been wanting to touch base on Micah Miller's case. Is it dog hair? Is it human hair? Is it cat hair? Horse hair. Yeah. Okay. So there's a really good new Agatha. It's not Agatha Christie. What does she call her channel? Agatha May. Really good video. Damn. It was like 40 minutes long, 50 minutes long. And I wanted to do a little bit of a breakdown. Fred, that's so cute. Your wife was born on a Friday the 13th. I love Friday the 13th. I always have. We just had one recently too. What was that? A week ago? Yeah, I think it was a week, 9 days ago, right? Okay, so I just can't with the freaking Jay-Z, P. Diddy, baby mama drama. Okay, those guys are drama queens, and yeah, they probably don't want their names in the media right now the way it is, but at the same time, it's like no publicity is bad publicity. We know that's the same for JP Miller. I'm so mad about remember Gigi? Oh, this is what's gotten under my skin. This is where I'm really at. Remember Gigi with the freaking alleged letter from WSU to Koberger, kicking him out of school and everything? Man, I really feel like I just need to start over because I swear to God, I have like a hair in my mouth. No, I'm not crazy. And just feel crazy. Just put me in a darn straight jacket in a rubber room and I'll be fine. Come on. Okay. Gigi's back. I couldn't believe that, Jules of All Trades did a really good video about this situation. I watched Paula Plunder's video that she put out yesterday or the day before about the Idaho4 defendant saying that he was named as a suspect in a 2021 attack. Okay, first of all, nobody was attacked in 2021, but I think they got the guy. And I think that Koberger was named as a suspect, but not until 2023, January of 2023. And there's no proof, zero proof, that he was anywhere near Pullman, Washington, or Moscow. This situation in October of 2021 happened in October, and he moved to Pullman like the following year. He had that interview by Skype or Zoom on April 12th of 2022. And so he wasn't even living in Pullman yet. I think he moved to Pullman like in May or June or even July. By August, he was definitely established. Hey, I'm on live. I'm hanging up. Okay. So I don't know why that. Okay. So the situation with Gigi is just infuriating. So I guess she has this channel that I didn't know about. I'm glad that I learned about this through Jewels of All Trades and Paula Plunder's video. I thought it was really interesting. I watched the entire body cam footage that Plunder put out. It really didn't substantiate anything as far as BK goes, and I really appreciated Jewels of All Trades straightforwardness about it. You know, I love Plunder. I love that channel. I love what she does. I have a very different opinion of the situation, I think, from Jewels and from Plunder. Personally, I would have put that together as a video saying, look at how they're trying to paint a criminal history of this person who doesn't have a criminal history. Do you remember early on in the Idaho4 case, after they arrested Brian Kohberger, they started coming up with all of these missing people that were anywhere within like 100-mile radius of anywhere he'd ever lived? Like literally, I think they went back to when he was like 12 years old. I'm not kidding you. It was nuts. None of that held water. The only thing that they could hang a hat on was that he told a woman that she had great birthing hips and that he creeped her out, but she invited him to her apartment anyway and then pretended to get sick to make him leave. Okay, I'm not sure that woman has any credibility, but that was, oh, wait. No, he creeped somebody out in junior high school too, right? And then they tried to say he was an incel. But wait, he went out on a date and he had a crush on somebody in junior high school. Oh, wait, he did have a criminal history. He stole his sister's cell phone for drug money, I think when he was 19 and she turned him in. So there, he is a criminal. Okay. We've established that. But all this other crazy. And then to find out that doggone truth, is that the name of this channel? That Gigi has? Yeah, it's called The Doggone Truth. Jenn. She calls herself Jenn now. She's no longer Gigi. She hasn't made a video on that channel in like 8 months. And I guess she's more of like an Instagram or a TikToker. But in my opinion, that character is a bad actor and she's sus AF. So let's break down this Agatha May video that was really, really good. Okay. I'm just going to pull it up on my phone. Craziness. Where'd it go? Here it is. Okay, it's 51 minutes long. I think it's 2 days old. She replays this interview with John Paul Miller from this past August. And he says so many crazy things. So what I want to do is I want to play parts of it and then break it up with my own interventions. Can you hear this?
Only their first names. I'm not sure what you're seeing on your screen. screen, it's whatever they have typed in.
Okay. So this is JP on an interview with a Facebook group, pretending that he doesn't know anything about technology. And you know, he live streamed his sermons, so he knows about technology. He's a musician. He loves to play dumb. Gigi, aka Jenn, is an incel allegedly. Too funny. Wait. This is hilarious because he did the same routine when he went on Robbie Harvey or no, just Justin. He's like, oh my God, are there little people in my phone? Can they hear me? Like he sounded like he was on rugs, but I think he's just trying to play up this thing like, oh, I've never used a live stream. I don't know how this works. Check this out. It's hilarious.
This is amazing technology we have here.
Those some good glasses, JP.
Amazing technology.
I hope that you are prepared for them.
I like questions. I love questions.
Wait, I like questions. I love questions. He is just a freaking ham.
Good. So I'm going to go ahead and answer the first question, and then I'm going to mute myself. So we resorted to using initials for the list. Question 1. Group family tax.
The sound is horrible, and I apologize for that. OMG. I really am getting tampered with, you guys. I really am. I do believe. I'm just going to delete this whole video. Holy crap, man. What is going on? I just can't. I know I need a new phone. I know that the trolls are working overtime. I know that I have my own technological challenges. But now I'm not even getting a signal on my phone. Give me an effing break. I give up. I give up. Please. You know me, I have trouble giving up. I do. I have a lot of trouble giving up.
I'm not sure what you're seeing on your screen. It's whatever they have.
It's working. Okay, I'm going to fast forward through all that.
For the hospital. And so it's so interesting. His sister,
he's talking about here.
2 days and haven't eaten a single thing, only drank water. And I was like, Micah, you can't do that. So she was doing this fasting at the same time she stopped taking her medicine. And so I said, you need to see your doctor tomorrow. So we made an appointment. And so that night, Micah was getting very sluggish and
sluggish.
Really, I could tell she needed energy. And so I laid in bed. I ordered
This is disgusting, you guys. This is disgusting. I think he's talking about November of 2022. I think this is when he held her captive and wouldn't let her sleep or eat or drink water. That's what I think this is. And it ties all together with a whole bunch of other stories.
I a beefy burrito from Taco Bell. I opened it up. She loves those.
And I opened it up.
And I spoon-fed her.
Wait, did you hear that? Sorry, I keep breaking it up. She loves the beefy 5-layer burritos from Taco Bell. He was laying in bed. He ordered one. He opened it up. He mushed it up. Spoon-fed her.
6 or 7 spoonfuls of food while she laid in bed. She was refusing to eat, but I was, telling her, you got to eat something, And so I managed to get some in her, and so she made it through the night. The next day, we go to the doctor.
Wait, she made it through the night? Like, was there a question that she wasn't going to make it through the night? Like, was she barely holding on by a thread? Had he pushed it too far with the no food, the no water, and the no sleep? Is that what happened? I hadn't even thought about that till just now.
One of her sisters and said, I have to go to the doctor because of y'all or something like that. And so Anna was at the mental health doctor when we were there. And I said, what are you doing here? She said, Micah texted me, something. So I said, okay, whatever. So I took Micah inside.
Wait. Something. Yeah, whatever. Okay, that's always like a tell. That's one of his tells. What are you doing here? Micah texted me. Something. Yeah, whatever.
Doctor's office. Before she gets her name called, she goes to the bathroom, and all of a sudden I hear her fall on the ground and pass out. And so she locked the door. So I'm beating on the door and I'm screaming for somebody to unlock it. My wife passed out. And Anna is saying, oh, just calm down. She'll be okay. And I was like, Anna, you idiot. She passed out. Like, she's passed out. We got to help her. Something's wrong. And Anna said, you're overreacting. And so I'm screaming. I said, get the janitor, get somebody. It was this big old thick door because it's these old buildings. And I couldn't beat the door down. I couldn't knock it down. And finally, they get a janitor to come unlock it. And they go in there and take care of Micah. And they call an ambulance for her. And when the ambulance comes, Anna starts telling the doctors things like withheld food or something crazy. I don't know what she was saying.
Okay, so the ambulance came. Anna's telling them that he withheld food. Crazy. He didn't withhold food. He was mushing up the Taco Bell and spoon feeding her like a freaking baby. Helping to ensure that she made it through the night.
And so the police showed up, and
police
Micah is screaming and crying for me. I mean, like.
And you got to remember, this guy knows everybody in town. He knows all the police. He knows everybody. Very, very relevant.
Screaming, they're holding Micah down.
Strapped her down.
In a chair.
Strapped her to a chair.
And she's screaming, I want my husband.
Wait.
Saying, don't talk to me, I want my...
Was she screaming, I want my husband, or was she screaming something else about her husband?
They're trying to do stuff to her. She said, don't do anything to me, I want my husband. So she's screaming for me. So I called Heather Wilson, who was at the time, she was in charge of all the cops in that area.
Oh, wait, his dear friend Heather Wilson, the one who was in charge of all the cops in that area, the one whose husband, Brian Wilson, I got that Brian Wilson confused with Doug Wilson in Idaho in one of my videos last week. So her husband, Doug Wilson, who also has a career in law enforcement, was his head of security for the Solid Rock. So Heather and Doug, they quit the freaking church, but this was when they were still tight with him.
I told her what happened, and I said,
Heather.
I need to see my wife. She's screaming bloody murder for me. Their sisters are saying stupid stuff. I need to get her help. I got to take care of her. And so I don't know what kind of call Heather Wilson made, but the police then moved out the way, and I got to tell Micah goodbye. They put her in the ambulance, and they took her to the hospital. And so it's so interesting is her sisters don't even care enough about her to go to the hospital. Like, you'd think they'd follow us from the doctor's office.
Don't even care about her enough to go to the hospital. But I didn't really get the idea that the sisters were even at the doctor's office. I don't know. His story is very sketchy. It doesn't add up. Doug is Idaho, right? Doug Wilson is the guy who's the head of that fundamentalist church with all the sticker gate and all that crap. And the sons and the grandsons. Yeah. The ones that might have been making a snuff film the night of the quadruple slaughter.
To the hospital, following me in the ambulance if they cared. They did.
Allegedly.
They just went, I think they actually found out they went to lunch. And so I followed the ambulance to the hospital. And of course, they won't let you see her then because she goes straight from the ambulance into the mental hospital. But I knew one of the EMS guys that was there for somebody else. And so I said, hey, go check on my wife. And so he's a good friend of mine. He went and checked on Mike. He said she's doing better. They got her sedated right now. And,
okay, you know what? This is not accurate. If you have an ambulance pick somebody up from a mental health crisis, they don't take them straight to the psych hospital. They take them to the ER. the ER triages them to the psych hospital. But it sounds like he had the fast track because he already had his crew working on it. Remember, he was gang stalking her for years, and he had the whole freaking town gang stalking her. What's Heather Wilson's husband's name? Brian Wilson, just like the guy from the Beach Boys.
They're going to give her medicine, blah, blah, blah.
Did I mess it up again?
Like, thank God. So I text Micah's family because I always try to keep them informed. I said, hey, I don't try to bash anybody. I said, hey, she went to the hospital again. She stopped taking her medicine.
But wait. His story's not adding up. So now he's calling them to tell them that she went to the hospital. But a minute ago, they were there. And instead of following the ambulance to the hospital, those biatches just went out to lunch. Like they're the freaking evil stepsisters, right?
Doing this thing where she's not eating. And I said, I didn't say the sisters did a bunch of stuff. I just said, luckily, I was able to get, Heather Wilson to help me. Let me see Micah before she got put in the ambulance. And I got another guy to help me. Another EMS guy said his name.
Wait, another guy to help me. Another EMS guy. He's about to say this is a good friend of his. This guy violated all HIPAA laws.
Yara calls Heather Wilson's boss. And I have the whole email right here on my phone. Fills out a report against her saying she used her power and authority to manipulate police officers and just crazy stuff. And then they go even far. And the EMS guy that I had just check on Mike. That's all I had to do was go in there and check on her and tell me what she's doing. Sierra calls his boss, tries to get him fired. You had an employee that wasn't supposed to be seeing this patient. And he went in there.
This guy is so obsessive. Like, he has to know what's going on with Micah every minute. And he's confessing in this whole interview of how he was stalking her and tracking her and controlling her. This entire 50-minute interview.
Anyway, and just a bunch of stuff. And so when Micah got out of the hospital, that's one of the times she blocked her family. And that's one of the times where the doctor told Micah, you need to block your family. She told her family, you need to somehow remove the complaint against Heather Wilson and against the other young man I'm not going to name. And Micah said something. Micah had a bunch of things she wanted her family to do. They were easy things. And Micah said, if you'll do these things, I'll be in a relationship with you. And they refused to do them.
If you do these things, I'll be in a relationship with you. Man, he's just insane, is he not? So, I think I missed this part because I keep stopping it. I want you to listen to this again. Sorry.
What happened? And I said, I need to see my wife. She's screaming bloody murder for me. Their sisters are saying stupid stuff. I need to get her help. I got to take care of her. And so I don't know what kind of call Heather Wilson made, but the police then moved out the way, and I got to tell Micah goodbye. They put her in the ambulance, and they took her to the hospital. And so it's so interesting is her sisters don't even care enough about her to go to the hospital. Like, you'd think they'd follow us from the doctor's office to the hospital, follow me in the ambulance if they cared. They didn't. They just went. I think they actually found out they went to lunch. And so I followed the ambulance to the hospital. And, of course, they won't let you see her then because she goes straight from the ambulance into the mental hospital. But I knew one of the EMS guys that was there for somebody else. And so I said, hey, go check on my wife. And so he was a good friend of mine. He went and checked on Mike. He said she's doing better. They got her sedated right now.
Okay, this is the part that I was replaying this for. They got her sedated right now. So she's lethargic. She hasn't eaten. She passed out and they sedated her. That's not consistent. You're not going to sedate somebody who's lethargic and passing out. You're going to sedate somebody who's out of control. I mean, stabilizing is one thing. Sedating is another. Hey, Sherry. I am having so much freaking trouble with my live and with my brain and my technology. Here we go. Blah, 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 blah.
And so I was like, thank God. So I text Micah's family because I always try to keep them informed. I said, hey, I don't try to bash anybody. I said, hey, she went to the hospital again.
He's bashing them this whole freaking interview.
And I said, I didn't say the sisters did a bunch of stuff. I just said, luckily, I was able to get, Heather Wilson to help me. Let me see Micah before she got put in the ambulance. And I got another guy to help me. The EMS guy said his name. Well, that day, Sierra calls Heather Wilson's boss, and I have the whole email right here on my phone. Fills out a report against her, saying she used her power and authority to
abused her power and authority because he told her to.
That I had, just check on Mike. That's all I had to do was go there and check on her and tell me what she's doing. Sierra calls his boss, tries to get him fired. You had an employee that wasn't supposed to be seeing this patient, and he went in there anyway, and just a bunch of stuff. And so when Micah got out of the hospital, that's one of the times she blocked her family, and that's one of the times where the doctor told Micah, you need to block your family. She told her family, you need to somehow remove the complaint against Heather Wilson and against the other young man I'm not going to name. And
no ethical doctor is going to tell a patient you need to block your family. Having a severed relationship is not going to be conducive to your mental health unless the person tried to rub you out or something.
Said something. Micah had a bunch of things she wanted her family to do. They were easy things.
Easy things.
You'll do these things. I'll be in a relationship with you. And they refused to do them.
Now, can you imagine Micah saying, if you do these things, I'll be in a relationship with you, to her family? That sounds more like something she would be saying to JP.
I even have the text when Micah sent them a text months later and said, hey, if you don't love me enough to just apologize to somebody so that you can be in a relationship.
I even have the text when Micah sent them a text saying, you don't love me enough. Okay, I'm going to fast forward. I'll put a link to this video in the description. I'm going to fast forward about 20 minutes to the 29-minute mark because this is great.
So I drained the bank account and then
drained the bank account.
I got a call from a friend of mine that works at Honda. He said, your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. You know, he says she's talking out of her brain. Doesn't know what.
Wait. She's talking out of her brain. Your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. She's talking out of her brain. So Micah and her dad went to buy her a car because remember, JP took her car after he coordinated having her hospitalized from the Walmart parking lot. So she's getting a new car, and the guy she's trying to get the car from is ratting her out to JP, who already knew she was there because he's watching on her GPS.
But her dad's here with her, and he's talking her into buying him a car so that the loan is in her name.
Bullshit.
And the car is in his name.
So that JP can't steal it. So JP can't steal it.
The car, from what I understand. And
that's so sad.
That's just the kind of people there. It's just really sucky thing to do. So.
Wow. So essentially, he took her to the car dealership instead of home, where she should have gone after the hospital.
Where she said, and where the doctors told her to go, and where she said she wanted to go.
Right. Okay.
And then the doctors they text me because they could get hold of her and said she has a doctor's appointment to come get her medicine and everything like that. And I forwarded that to Michael, and all he told me was, "Don't text me again."
Wait.
Wow. Okay. Next question.
The doctors are texting him about her appointment. That could be a breach of confidentiality too. Unless, no, he was the power of attorney, wasn't he? Oh, he's so disgusting. Did you see the way he swigged back this soda as he's talking? And let me just say that these women who are interviewing him seem to be big fans of his. It's like a Facebook group, and either that or they're just playing into his hand and pretending to be really nice so that he'll talk. But I think they're in his corner.
And the car is in his name, so he could keep the car no matter what happens. And so he does still have the car, from what I understand. And that's just the kind of people there. It's just really sucky thing to do. So.
Watch the way he drinks his soda.
Car dealership instead of home, where she should have gone after the hospital.
Where she said, and where the doctors told her to go, and where she said she wanted to go.
Right.
What a bad dad.
And then the doctors they text me because they could get hold of her and said she has a doctor's appointment to come get her medicine and everything like that. And I forwarded that to Michael, and all he told me was, "Don't text me again."
Watch the way he throws back his soda pop.
Next question. Is the whole prostitution thing true? Did you make Micah have sex with other men?
anything Micah said to Regina on that day that they met one time, you have to understand that.
Did you hear the way he said Regina instead of Regina? Like, it sounds like he's saying vajayjay. Sorry. Okay.
Started her story with Miss Ward. It started off, me and John Paul met when I was 10 years old. Whatever she's saying, it's what someone told her to say when she got there, because I didn't know Micah wasn't living in the States. She was 16, something like that. So the rest of the story, has to be
he's lying.
The same delusion of whatever she's saying, because she's 6 years off. If I was to tell you a story and I was 6 years off.
He's totally lying, because we know she moved there when she was 15, but we also know that she visited there before she moved there. We know she visited there when she was 14, maybe even 13, and maybe going back as far as 10. I don't know. But she reports 10, and a lot of us thought that that was a typo. But the fact that he's changing it to 16, because if you have a child under the age of 16, that's way more egregious than a child over the age of 16. And I don't know, maybe in South Carolina, 16 is the age of consent. Maybe that's what he's getting at. I could look it up. Come on, play. Hello.
You would think the rest of it would be a fictional story as well, obviously. So whatever she said to her during that time is incredibly fictional. Not only that, but the day before she met with her, the court deemed Micah mentally ill and in need of medicine due to hallucinations and delusions. And so, that's because I took her to probate for them to try to get her medicine. She just was not a danger to anyone else in society, so they could not force her to take it. But I do have paperwork on where they deemed her mentally ill.
Okay. So the answer to that question is no.
No.
Okay. And one more quick.
Okay, I got to go back because I missed a part. Let's see. At the 24-minute mark, I'm going to go back to the 21st minute mark. I'm sorry, this is so time consuming, you guys. I feel like this is really important stuff, though. So I'm going right to 21.
I was in church every Sunday. I would invite people all the time to Solid Rock, all the time. Anytime her dad was here, he would stay in my house. But it was immediately when Micah first became mentally ill and needed medicine that the division started, because they don't really believe in medicine.
So he's talking about what trash her whole family is and how they were like freaking him out so bad when he was 31, and her mother was like a monster in the congregation, making him want to give up being a pastor, because she said to him, "We're going to do what we want to do." And then she gave all of her kids away. This is the stuff that he's saying here in this. When he's accusing Micah's mother, Angelina, of giving the kids away, then he says, well, one got married, one went to college. It's just like, wait. So she gave them away to college and marriage? Okay, gotcha. And then there's Nate. There's Micah's brother that he had live with him, who he called a really good wife. Okay. This is crazy.
They don't believe that she was mentally ill or whatever the case is. Even this year actually helped me with Micah the first 2 times she went into the mental hospital, or maybe second, third time. Anyway, so they knew about it, but all the 7 years of our marriage, they were so much against medicine. And they have no idea what it's like, first of all, to even have a job and take care of somebody. Right? Anna's not married, Sierra doesn't have a job.
He starts talking about how none of them were ever employed, and they're just basically a bunch of irresponsible party animals. And then he compares Micah to an autistic child.
Dad doesn't have a job, mom don't have a job, that's how they are. So they've never taken care of it. So to take care of your spouse, one thing to take care of a child, like you have an autistic child, right, and they throw tantrums and you just kind of hold them or you let them throw tantrums. But when you have a 130-pound strong woman who is a kickboxer and, works out every day, and she comes off her medicine and she wants to punch you in your face because she thinks you're a secret agent or double agent, or she, starts talking that isn't normal, saying that she's going to, put a hole in one part of the house and build a room onto it herself.
This guy's a master gaslighter.
It's frightening. and to love the person and to help them at the same time in that area is very, very, very difficult. And so I desired strongly for her family to be on my side and to help me. And there were times where, like, if Micah couldn't get to the doctor for 2 days, where I'd have to stay up 24 hours to watch her all through the night because she wouldn't sleep. And so I would call, like, her sister and say, please, can you come?
She wouldn't sleep.
Just be at the house. Just give me 6 hours so I can sleep. You know, and they would say, why do you need to do that? What's wrong with you? You can sleep. You don't have to stay awake. And so it didn't click in their head. And so to answer the question, I've always tried to be good to them. I've always tried to help them financially with jobs. The sister-in-law worked at my school as a teacher. But behind closed doors, in me and Micah's conversations, when she was in her right state of mind, she knew that they were evil. She knew that they were wrong. She knew that they would try to talk her into doing things she didn't want to do. And it would be a constant discussion of, hey, are you going to be okay if you go out with them? Are they going to talk you into doing something you don't want to? If you're taking your medicine, are you good?
He reminds me a lot of NK. Like, he can't even stop to breathe. He doesn't answer the question. He talks in circles. He just goes on and on and on, just throwing a bunch of spaghetti at the wall. This gets really good. This is where he totally trips himself up.
And so the battle was always a medical battle with her family. Other than that, we always got along.
Oh, other than that, everything was great.
Okay, so basically the fallout was when you insisted upon them helping Micah's mental health and treatment.
They still worked for me after that. They still came to church. They still served in church. That was just the sandpaper in our relationship, was that I wanted Micah to do what her doctors said to do. And they want.
I've never heard that phrase, the sandpaper in our relationship. That's kind of bizarre. Have you guys heard that phrase before? But so he just disclosed that he was basically the employer for her whole family. So they were all financially dependent on him. It's not that they didn't have jobs. It's that he gave them jobs so that he could control them.
Micah to do what her dad says, which is smoke pot and everything will go away.
So the separation between her and her family wasn't just a one-time thing. It was cyclical, like maybe on and on.
It was happening in her first marriage. It was all about her first husband tried to separate her with her family. Micah knew, like she knew. Here's the thing about Micah. She's smart. She knew that they were a bad influence and they taught her to do bad things. But just like all of us in this, we all think, I'm strong enough to handle it. I'm strong enough to hang out with this person and they won't talk me into doing drugs. I'm strong enough in hanging out with this person and they won't talk me into stealing something, or if I'm sure, whatever. And so she thought, well, because it's my sisters, I can stand up to them.
So
I can be strong and I can tell them no. But every single...
He basically just called her family a bunch of thieves and liars. Did you catch that? And let me kick some stuff over real quick. Okay, I need my lights to work. Are they working? I think they are. Okay. Sorry about that, you guys. That helps because it was just so dark over there on that side. He is the rug user. Yeah, Denny Wolf. He is so insane. Absolutely. Thanks for being here, you guys. I know I'm a hot mess right now. Trying so hard. I think this is really important information, and I wouldn't be playing it for you otherwise. And like, I know you can go to Agatha May Detective Agency channel and watch this yourself, but I wanted to share with you some of my opinions about it.
Time when she was off, meds, or she'd come off meds because of them. It'd be a big circle of things. That's why in one of the last texts I sent the family.
Wait. Did you catch that? That's the best. That's what I was getting at. In one of the last texts that I sent the family, wait, that Micah sent. Hold on. This is at the 24-minute and 28-second mark. I'm going to go back a few seconds and replay that. All right. Are you ready?
I'm sure, whatever. And so she thought, well, because it's my sisters, I can stand up to them and I can be strong and I can tell them no. But every single time when she was off, meds, or she'd come off meds because of them, it'd be a big circle of things. That's why in one of the last texts I sent the family, or that Micah sent the family, he told them, John Paul says y'all.
Thank you, JP, for telling on yourself again. Like I said, this is the 24-minute, 20-second mark. I'm going to rewind it one more time just to make sure that we're all on the same page with that. Is that wild? You got to love it when these people rat themselves out.
And they won't talk me into stealing something, or if I'm sure, whatever. And so she thought, well, because it's my sisters, I can stand up to them, and I can be strong, and I can tell them no. But every single time when she was off, meds, or she'd come off meds because of them, it'd be a big circle of things. That's why in one of the last texts I sent the family, or that Micah sent the family, she told them, John Paul says y'all are getting the next hospital bill.
You're getting the next hospital bill.
Because of,
man, he really,
talking to her and coming off
he really uses money to control people, doesn't he?
Okay. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next question.
Is this interesting to people? Are they still
Is this interesting to people?
Yes, they're here. Here, hold on. Everyone, you can chime in and say hi if you want to. Hi, Gigi. Thank you.
Hey, how are you?
Good.
Good.
Always playing the victim.
Okay, so this question, I hope it doesn't offend you. Were you and Micah a lifestyle couple? If so, did you have permission to do things on your own? Did she, if she came back and told you about it? And was she always
I'm actually not that interested in that part, because of course he just denies everything and pretends that he doesn't even understand. What are you saying, lifestyle couple? What does that mean? Are you talking about sex? No, because we know he's not a perv, right? Okay, so he's about to admit to the tracker that he had on her car. So I'm going to just fast forward slightly. Let's see, not too far. Right about there.
We also, she moved to Kansas. I said, we need to think about things if we're going to make it or not. So we did a separation agreement. And in that legal separation agreement, it says we could see other people if we wanted to. And that was just why we were separated. But that's the closest thing we've come to what you're referring to. So, no, there was no, there's no any of that.
Okay.
No any of that.
Question 7. What were the circumstances surrounding Michael and or Nate picking her up from the hospital, and then the details about Michael convincing her to buy him a car? And does he still have the car?
This is good.
So Michael and Sierra both texted Micah the day that her doctor said that she's suicidal, homicidal, needs her medication, she's delusional, and sent the sheriff to pick her up.
Suicidal, homicidal, needs her medication, she's delusional. And they're just like, oh, then good. We can manipulate her into buying us a car. Yeah, right.
They text Mike and told her to run from the police. They told her to
run from the police, flee the county. Okay, they probably did because they knew that all these people were gang stalking her at JP's orders, right? I'll believe that.
So they could take her to the hospital and get her medicine. She ended up back in Myrtle Beach, and I could see on the phone where she was at. And,
she ended up back at Myrtle Beach. I could see on the phone where she was at. So he's outing himself, and then he's trying to say, even though he just admitted that he had a tracker on her, then he tries to say that it was his friend who worked at the Honda dealership who let him know that she was there, even though he already knew she was there.
At Walmart, and according to her medical records, while she was there,
Walmart
has ever been used ever in any way by me or anyone or home. She said, no, absolutely not. And they said to her, what do you want to do when you get out? She said, I want to go home to my husband, and I want to talk to him about how.
Okay, you know that Walmart is where they hoodwinked her into probably putting her in a straitjacket and hauling her off to the psychiatric ward, right? You remember that part. That must have been November 2022, what he's talking about. But he's probably weaving all of his stories together into one.
Baby. So that's what she said in the hospital. When she got out, I don't know the day she got out. I mean, I know now because of medical records, but I was not aware the day she got out.
Right. I didn't know when she got out. My friends didn't tell me.
Her family picked her up. And
wait. He didn't know, but he had just admitted to having the tracker on her phone, so he could know where she was. Plus, we know that he had friends that worked in the psych hospital. So what? They didn't call him to let him know? Sure.
I did find out because I got a text a day or two later saying your bank account's been drained, like it's closed and everything's gone. And so I saw the date that it happened, and then I found out that was the date she got out. And so I drained the bank account, and then
Wait. Didn't he just say I drained the bank account? Isn't that the words that you just heard? Hold up.
I don't know the day she got out. I mean, I know now because of medical records, but I was not aware the day she got out. She didn't tell me. Her family picked her up, and then I did find out because I got a text a day or two later saying your bank account's been drained, like it's closed and everything's gone. And so I saw the date that it happened, and then I found out that was the date she got out. And so I drained the bank account, and then
I drained the bank account. Yep.
I got a call from.
Yep, that's what he said.
That works at Honda.
He said that right before the 28-minute and 40-second mark. I drained the bank account after he's saying that she drained it and closed it. It's like, no, if his name's on it, she's not going to be able to close it without his signature. I know, because my husband and I have joint bank accounts. And yeah, we can do things autonomously, but if we're going to do something like close it, we need to both be there or have our signatures. But yeah, pretty much you have to be there. Also I had joint bank accounts with my kids that are young adults. So yeah, you had to be there in person. Let's go back just a few more seconds. I like hearing him admit that he drained it.
And everything's gone. And so I saw the date that it happened, and then I found out that was the date she got out. And so I drained the bank account, and then
I drained the bank account.
I got a call from a friend of mine that works at Honda. He said, your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. He said she's talking out of her brain. Doesn't know what.
That's my favorite. Okay, your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. She's talking out of her brain. This guy, I think, is out of his brain. I think he's basically high while he's trying to talk smack about her. Your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. She's talking out of her brain.
Picked her up. And then I did find out because I got a text a day or two later saying your bank account's been drained, like it's closed and everything's gone. And so I saw the date that it happened, and then I found out that was the date she got out. And so I drained the bank account, and then
I drained the bank account.
I got a call from a friend of mine that works at Honda. He said, your wife's here. She's having a manic episode. He said she's talking out of her brain. No one knows what she's saying. But her dad's here with her, and he's talking her into buying him a car so that the loan is in her name and the car is in his name. So he could keep the car no matter what happens. And so,
right. So that JP couldn't steal the car again. In my appointment, JP Nutty needs to get evaluated by a psych. It's just so harsh. These people like Diddy and JP, Jay-Z, these guys that have gotten away with so much for so long, if they weren't getting preferential treatment, if they weren't well connected, one of these incidences could get them locked up for 30 years. To me, it sounds like he's talking about kidnapping her, right? He had her hauled off to the psych hospital when she didn't need to go to the psych hospital. That's kidnapping. He had all these people in the entire freaking town of Myrtle Beach gang stalking her and keeping tabs on her and calling him, just like what we saw in the videotapes of the Dick's Pawn Shop and that 41 gas and deli place. Unbelievable. So I'm going to fast forward from this 29-minute mark to about the 37-minute mark where he starts talking about her stealing his steroids, okay? He's like, I didn't even know I had steroids. I threw them in the medicine cabinet, quit using them. And then she was wanting to use them to get skinny. That's what happened with the steroids. You ready?
I want you to hold back. So if we have to do a part 2, that's fine. In question 12, it touches on the Lumberton, why it would be there. You already answered. Question 13. have you ever been diagnosed with a mental illness? And if so, what meds have you been prescribed, and are you taking any at this time?
I've not been diagnosed with mental. I think when I was like 15 or 16, I got like hyper ADD or something like that. When I was like 15 or 16.
Wait. Remember the worm episode where he's like on the grass and he's complaining about the ants crawling on him and the meds changing and yeah. Okay. This guy is effing crazy. ADHD, if you had it as a kid, you'd have it as an adult too.
That might be something, I don't know. But anyway, I called my doctor recently and said, hey, am I diagnosed with something?
Am I diagnosed with something?
And she said, no.
No.
I was like, really?
Really?
She said, no. She said, I just give you something to help you sleep. I said, okay. And so I'm on Seroquel. It's a mood stabilizer, but it also helps you sleep really good.
I was going to say, Seroquel's a psychiatric medication.
Question 14. You said Micah had used testosterone, things she had seen and heard online. Her mic is breaking up.
It was a cream that was prescribed to
Okay,
me.
so this is the part about the testosterone. And so he's saying that it was a cream, a testosterone cream. And yeah, you can get a cream, a steroid cream for when you have an injury. It helps with inflammation and something else. I know I've had a steroid cream for my knee, but you still need to be careful with it. But yeah, you might have some left over in your medicine cabinet, like he's claiming.
Medicine cabinet, and you just kind of you give medicine, and you might use it, might not. You throw it in the medicine cabinet.
Just throw it in the medicine cabinet.
I've been giving it, I don't know, a year before, 6 months before, because they did a blood test that I was low on testosterone. And
wait, they did a blood test and said he was low on testosterone? I'm not gonna buy that. This guy, he was abusing steroids. Let's just admit it. That was part of why he was freaking nutty AF. And probably had tiny junk, which really freaked him out.
I think I used it once. I was like,
once. Put it up in the cabinet.
Sometime later, Mike had been using it for 3 days. And I said, what do you think you're doing? She said, I read it'll help you lose weight, you know. And I said, who gives a crap about how much you weigh? Like, you can't take medicine that's not prescribed to you.
Okay, Denny says steroids make you swell, not shrink. And yes, he is beyond crazy. And Seroquel is a wicked psych med. So the steroids make your junk shrink for guys. But also, I know that when I've had knee injuries, I've had steroid cream for the inflammation, to reduce the inflammation. So I don't know if you're talking about steroids making a guy swell, like his apparatus, because I know that it increases anger, it increases aggressiveness, it increases muscle tone. And I would think that it would increase your sex drive, which I'm pretty sure is why he was giving it to her, because he wanted her to keep up with him. And that's what she had shared with some people. And I believe that.
And that was it. And then she claimed 2 weeks later it made her voice deeper or something. And I didn't want to say I told you so. I mean, I said,
I told you so.
That's why you look up things before you do stuff like that. But she would do it all the time. Pill bottles from all around the world come in the mail. She get pills to make your hair grow, make your fingernails grow.
Crazy pill popper.
Think faster. Just always stuff she tried.
Yeah, that's called Adderall. Or is that to make your thoughts slow down?
Some juicy questions. Hold on a minute. I'm really curious your opinion on what the family needs all the money for.
Oh my God. Cackling like a hyena. Okay, he is so happy to say what he's about to say. He just tears them up. Your body gets swollen with continued use. Thank you, Danny. Yeah, I've only used the steroids a minimal amount when I've had injuries. So I've been very restricted with them. Like, I didn't even ever want to use them, but then I had to. He is one sick puppy, Sherry. Absolutely. So, Denny, thank you for your knowledge and expertise about it. Let's see. But yeah, we all know people take them to work out and get ripped, right? They abuse them to get ripped.
Oh, good God. Oh, man, people are so dumb. So, listen, let me just tell you what's going on. Just because I hope that y'all are the intelligent one. See, it seems like 95% of social media is nothing but emotions, right? It's just emotions. Someone just types something, and it makes them feel better. Or they make a video, it's just emotional. No one uses their brain.
Emotional.
Step back. The Francis family is asking for money to hire a lawyer to ask for money. So now the Francis family has my money and everybody else's money.
Those darn
and the idiots that are getting
Francis
upset with
family people.
But they shouldn't be upset with them because what do you do in family court? We thought you wanted justice. Well, y'all knew we were in family court. What do you think they do in family court? You think they put people in jail in family court? No, they always.
No, somebody could go to jail from family court. I mean, if it would then get referred to criminal court. But yeah, I mean, court is court.
They just wanted money. The whole thing was money. That's all they ever asked me for when Micah was alive.
And that's all that is asked for in court is money. Like, money is how you get your retribution. It's how you get revenge. It's how you basically kick someone's arse in a legal fashion, is you sue them for a whole lot of money, right? That's because you can't beat them up. You'd go to jail. So you hit them in the freaking pocketbook where it really hurts.
It was money. That's what do you think they need it for? More tattoos? She's got no regrets on the side of...
Wait, no regrets. She's got no regrets. Tattoo. So he loves to just be so insulting. This guy has a lot of tattoos, right? We know this, but yeah, he's just so insulting.
Angelita needs a new laptop. Michael needs more marijuana. I don't know. I mean, the only person we ever really wanted to help was Nate. Me and Micah both said one day if we could ever help him get a house, because he's a good. I don't know what he said about me. Don't tell me, but I think he's a good guy. I think he's a decent guy, and he's always wanted a home because their family. No one in their family has a home. And
Nate's the one who he jokingly referred to as a good wife for him when he had Nate move into his house, and I don't know if Micah was living there at the time or not. I don't think she was. I think from the way it sounds, he had Nate move in to help him and to keep tabs on Micah. It sounds like. We'll see. I mean, that was back at like the 20-minute mark if you're going to go through it more yourself.
He's always wanted a house, and so our goal one day was to help him get a home. So I hope that he uses the money for that.
Okay. Yeah. And then who out of the whole family, this is a side note, has a job out of all of the adults?
A side note? That's kind of important.
Another reason why they're trying to get so much money from people.
Yeah. I mean,
who has a job in the family? Oh, nobody. They're just a bunch of bums. And he's basically trying to call them all homeless just because he's stealing everybody's money and buying himself a big, nice house and then kicking people out of it so they have no place to stay.
Nate's got a job. Anna has a job, but
ish.
I don't know if the government knows about it.
I don't know if the government knows about it.
Some government employees.
He's insinuating that she's an escort. He just said unless she's servicing some government employees. He's such a piece of crap, man.
That's really, I think.
Okay. Let me get to the other juicy ones.
Look at him.
I can answer them fast, I promise.
Look at him sucking on his glasses. That to me is a sign of, when people are on ecstasy, they suck on things. That's why kids like those ring pops and binkies. Kids, the teenagers, they like the ring pops and the binkies. When they're at raves and they're doing ecstasy, they want to suck on things. So he's sucking on the end of his glasses there. It's kind of weird to me.
I mean, we've got 10 minutes. If they are still going through court, what are they trying to get? We already answered that money.
Can you see that?
Did you
he's
know about
doing
the
it some more.
background history of domestic violence?
No.
Okay.
I knew that Matt beat Sierra a few times and she left him. He beat her again and she left him. I knew about that. I asked for an autopsy, and I didn't ask because I knew anything or because I was smart. And I was
This
in
is
the
good.
hospital. I saw her body and cried my eyes out. The nurses told me it's time to go. And I said, aren't y'all going to do an autopsy? And the only reason I asked is because I see it in movies.
I see it in
Movies.
movies.
Like, autopsy.
Autopsy.
No, in this case, we don't need to do one. That's okay.
In this case, we don't need to do one. He says okay.
I spoke to the investigator working
Such a
with Micah's
liar.
family, and he said it was because the cause of death was obvious and because of her young age. But
You wouldn't do an autopsy because of her young age? That makes no sense. You would do an autopsy because it was an unattended passing and she's young. That's why you would do one. If it's an apparent self-unaliving, you do an autopsy to confirm that what it appears to be is what it actually is.
next, did you want kids with her?
If she wanted kids, I would have kids with her, yes.
Okay.
He already had 5 kids that he couldn't take care of.
Was Micah and her family as close as they are saying?
They had no idea anything about Micah.
No idea.
They're too selfish to realize it. You know, some people are so selfish when you're with them, they don't care at all about you. They only care about what you can do for them and themselves, and that's how they are. And when we would go out with them.
Sounds like he's describing himself, doesn't it? Okay, we're already at 1 hour and 15 minutes. So I'm going to wrap up this part because there was some other stuff I wanted to talk with you guys about too. Okay. We're at 42 minutes and 30 seconds. I'm going to get to the 50-minute mark where he talks about how he met her. And I always think in metaphors. So let me get to it and then we'll discuss it. It's at about the 50-minute mark. Let's see. Let's go to 49 and a half.
And then that was it.
Okay. We're going to open it up for questions. So if you could, anyone that has a question, raise your hand. Let me see what it is on here. Yes. Click the raise hand, and then we'll call on you.
But I got to see the person. I got to see them.
No, you can't force that. Sorry.
Okay.
Monica?
Bellamy's up.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Hey, JP, how did you and Micah first get introduced to one another and start your emotional relationship?
It was a week.
How did you first get introduced to one another and start your emotional relationship? So he's about to say a situation that happened in 2015, which is when she was 21 years old. And probably after she was divorced, because we know she married her first husband when she was 18. And he told her that he fell in love with her when she was walking down the aisle and he was about to, do the commitment ceremony with them. So he's got a lot of stories.
Before Easter 2015, we were working on the overhead projector at church, and she almost fell off the ladder, and I kind of called her.
What a hero. Damsel in distress.
Yeah.
He was there to catch her.
We were already friends. We were already good friends. We were already real good friends because we worked together, and she was our babysitter.
Okay.
But remember, so now he's saying that her and her husband would come babysit for him and his wife and their kids. But remember, Alice or Allison, his ex-wife, you guys remember if it's Alice or Allison? It's Allison, isn't it? Anyway, that she said that she walked in on him and Micah. And I believe that was when Micah was still married to the first husband. And then there was all this back and forth with Robbie Harvey saying, well, Micah cheated on her husband too. The difference being that Micah had been getting groomed by this guy from the time that she was 15 at the oldest. And that he had a lot of power over her as her employer, as the leader of the church. A lot of power over her. She was only 2 years older than his oldest son.
We babysat our kids together.
You mentioned in the audio deal with DJ that about her coming on to you than she did to him. So
I think that whatever I said during that, I was probably so emotionally strong at 3 a.m. in the morning. I think I was just trying to be mean and say, hey, she ruined my life. She'll ruin your life. Just trying to steer him away from her. I think I was just tactic I could to keep him away.
Gotcha. That makes sense. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. We have like 2 more minutes, but John Paul, are you free if I send another meeting invite? Can you join in and answer some more questions?
Sure.
Okay, so she fell off the ladder when she was 21, and he would have been, what, was he 15 years older than her or 12 years older than her? Well, he was 16 when his son was born, or when he got his first baby mama pregnant, and she's 2 years younger than his son. So that would make him about 14 or 15 years older than her. Because, yeah, didn't she just turn 31 the month before she passed away? Or did she just turn 30? And then he was 45 and he turned 46 or something like that. I want to say he was 15 years older than her. And his birthday was in the summer, like maybe June or July. So he was like 45 when she passed and then turned 46. And I think she had just turned 31 when she passed away, but maybe it was 30. Should I look that up so I can clarify Micah Miller's age? Let's see. It's just so sad. It's so sad what happened to her. She was 30 years old when she passed away. So she had only turned 30 in March. She passed away in April. Okay. April 27th. It's crazy that, when you Google it, it says passed away by self-unaliving, when it seems so obvious that it was not a self-unaliving. But JP has all those connections with all those people in Robeson County, and then he says that he's never been there and he doesn't know anything about it. Oh, wait, if you ever find, he said this in the interview, if you ever, find evidence that I was there, it's because I was just little and I don't remember it. So he's covering his bases. And yeah, wasn't her birthday March? Let's look up her birthday. What a sad, sad story of this beautiful woman. Yeah, March 7th, 1994. She was born in Wichita, Kansas, the daughter of Michael and Angelita. So I think Michael and Angelita had 4 kids biologically together, but I'm not sure. I know that Micah was one of 7, and that JP likes to slander the mother, Angelita, because Angelita, I think, had been married 7 times. And let's see, it says... oh, let's see. I want to know JP Miller's birthday. I'm pretty sure it was July. And that's Myrtle Beach. It might not say his birthday. It doesn't really matter, but I'd like to know those things. Okay, so he's 45 now, it says. Born May of 1979. Okay, good to know. So she was 30 when she passed away. He had already turned... No, it was a month before he turned 45, right? Because it happened at the end of April. She turned 30 in March. She passed away in April, and then he turned 45 in May. So he's still 45. Oh man, it's so sad. It's just so freaking sad. Like, what a short life. So what else did I want to talk with you guys about? The whole infuriation with Gigi, the freaking redhead from Arkansas, who I thought went away but hasn't. Maybe that's good. So I'm going to put a link in the description to this Agatha May video. I'll put a link to the Jewels of All Trades video. I'll put a link to the Paula Plunder video. So Paula Plunder, I missed it when I listened to the entire like hour and 20 minutes of basically body cam footage. And I missed the part where she said that she was able to get knowledge of the body cam footage from Gigi. And I don't remember what she called her when she said it, but it was Jewels of All Trades that pointed that out. And I went back and listened to that part in Plunder because I had totally missed that. I'm like, wait, what? That girl? No, if she was involved. And to me, it's just really throwing shade onto the criminal defendant, which why do you need to keep throwing shade on him where there is no foundation for it? There's absolutely zero foundation. Yes, they listed him as a person of interest, but that was after he was arrested in December of 2022 for the Idaho4 slaughter. Then the following month in January, they listed him retroactively going back a year and a half almost to October of 2021, saying he was a person of interest, even though it seemed like they had basically caught the guy. I want to say his name is like Jose or something like that. And he was a neighbor of theirs, and he's in the body cam footage. And it seems not only apparent that he is the one who did it, that he might have been charged with it, and that he could potentially be a person of interest in the Idaho4, potentially. I don't know his alibi for that night, but I just think it's really odd, or not odd so much as calculated, that the law enforcement names the suspect that they just apprehended for the Idaho4 case as a potential suspect in a situation that had some similarities. A man broke into a home of 4 females in Pullman in October of 2021. And he had a sharp object, which also reminds me of this television show made by HBO called Sharp Objects. Have you guys heard of that? It's so good. I just discovered it last night. It's riveting. Sharp Objects. It stars Amy, what's her name? I love her. Help me out, people. The one who is in like Cinderella or something like that. Oh man, I can't believe I'm not remembering her name. Let's see, Sharp Objects. I'll put a link to that too. It's an 8-part series, and I've only gotten through 2. And I already said it's an HBO original. Amy Adams. See, I don't even have to type the whole thing in, and it comes to my brain, but it won't come to my brain until I start typing. So annoying. I think it's Amy Adams, isn't it? Amy Adams. That's her name. Patricia Clarkson plays her mother. She does a really, really good job. And then Eliza Scanlon plays her little sister. She's phenomenal. It's a really creepy Elizabeth Perkins. She does a good job in it too. And then Matt Craven is in it. But I love Amy Adams. She's phenomenal. So it's a mini series. It probably won a bunch of awards. Let's see. It won Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actress in a Series, Miniseries, or Motion Picture Made for Television. And it won some other stuff too. So this was 2019. Best Actress, Critics' Choice Television Award for Best Actress, Critics' Choice for Best Supporting Actress, and Satellite Award for Best Actress in a Miniseries. So Amy Adams won 2 and Patricia Clarkson won 2. And they definitely deserve them. They were phenomenal. The writing is really good. It's one of those miniseries where everything is just done so well. Because you guys know, I like documentaries. I like true crime. But when these fictional stories are done so well, it's as good as true crime because it could be true. It's probably based on truth. It's basically about a small town of 2,000 people. What's it called? Wind Gap. It's a hilarious name. The town is called Wind Gap, and it's in Missouri. And Amy Adams grew up there. I'll just give you a quick thumbnail. I won't do a spoiler alert. She grew up there. It's a hog farming community. Like that's the only industry they have other than like meth. I mean, seriously. And her family is extremely wealthy. Like they were the hog farmers. And she moved away to the big city. And let's see, St. Louis, and she works for a newspaper. Kind of reminds me a little bit of like Mary Tyler Moore and Lou Grant, her relationship with her boss. And I won't tell you why it's called Sharp Objects because that's kind of like interesting the way they reveal that. But her little sister passed away when she was a kid in the story. And then she goes back to her hometown because they've had 2 tween girls disappear 1 year after another, where the first one that was missing was then found deceased in the river, which reminded me of Micah Miller. Then the second one that was deceased was when she goes back to her hometown to start basically investigating for a story at the urging of her boss. She doesn't want to go back at all. Like she's not into her family. She's not into that hometown, but she goes back. Her character is very fascinating to me. And then while she's there, they find the other missing girl, and it's just tragic. So it brings everything to surface for her and her family about when her younger sister had passed. And they haven't said yet at the end of the second episode how she passed. They've alluded to that she was very sick. I'm wondering already if the mom had Munchausen's van Proxy. That's just me. I don't know if they've alluded to that or not. But there's also a half sister that's in the picture now. So the half sister is the same age as these 2 tweens that were the victims of foul play. So that's in a nutshell what the storyline is. They're trying to railroad him like they did Richard Allen Delphi case. 130 years for an innocent man. So sad. I haven't followed the Delphi case closely enough to really have an opinion one way or another, Sherry, to be 100% transparent and honest about it. But I get the feeling that you're accurate from the superficial kind of glossing over that I've done on that case. I get the feeling that you're very accurate. And, I do have photographs of trigger warning. One of my content creator friends, with my permission, sent me a couple of photographs that were shared with her of the crime scene. And they're alarming. They're horrific, and they explain a lot. And I think that those photographs have been all over the internet. I think that they were leaked during the trial. So I have offered to share them with anybody who emails me if they want them. I only ask that you don't post them on social media because out of respect for the victims and their families, of course. And the flip side of that for me, I've spoken to this a lot lately, is that even out of respect with the victims and families, you still, out of respect for the victims and the families, you have to get to the truth. You have to let the truth be known, because if you're not getting full justice, then you're not getting justice. So if there's more to this crime scene than meets the eye with the Delphi case, and that's not being revealed in court, that's not being revealed in mainstream media, that's a problem. Like why are you hiding the information? And I think that often law enforcement will say, well, we're trying to keep that on the down low out of respect for the victim and the family. I see that all the time with rug abuse, when people are unalived and there's rug deals that have gone bad, and that's basically what got them unalived. But then the mainstream narrative leaves the rugs out of it, and they're like, oh, well, out of respect for the family, we don't want anyone to throw shade at the family that their deceased family member was using rugs or involved in trafficking rugs. It's like, well, that's what got them unalived. And are you really doing that out of respect for the family? Because I don't buy that. I think it's to protect the higher ups in the chain of the trafficking. That's what I think. I think it's self-preservation, because usually, in most cases, the cars that tell or don't tell, or the lords or whatever you want to call these people, the dealers, they're paying off law enforcement. So law enforcement doesn't want to bite the hand that feeds them, right? So they're just gonna kind of clean up every little mess that they can, but they're going to protect their own interest. It's crazy. It's so crazy. And so with the Delphi case, basically the images are indicative of ritual stuff. And I'll just leave it at that. None of us want to believe that ritual stuff exists, but it does. And it's very likely that there was ritual stuff in Kylie Rodney's case, in my humble conspiracy theory opinion. Allegedly, there was definitely ritualistic stuff in the Travis Scott concert at Astroworld that I've talked about this last few, just in my last live, I think, the day before yesterday. And very likely ritualistic stuff in Idaho4, you guys. I mean, when you're dealing with such vile, evil, disgusting crimes, it often leans towards that. If it's not rooted in that, it at least leans towards it. So I think it's something to pay attention to and to keep your eyes open about, even though I think most of us would rather stick our heads in the sand and pretend that that's just a bunch of hogwash. That's just a bunch of conspiracy theorists. That stuff couldn't really exist. It's like, yeah, it does. And it exists a lot in Hollywood. So when you're talking about the, all the crap in the news right now with, R. Kelly's affiliates. I don't like to name them because you already know who I'm talking about. And I think that the trolls and the bots are just working overtime, shutting people down if you say their names. So I've come up with like Daisy and Pitty or Gigi. Like those are my code words. Yeah, very true, Jez, Sherry says. So yeah, they're trying to railroad him like they did Richard Allen. Yeah, I mean, why would they be saying that he's a suspect in something from a year and a half prior unless they're trying to railroad him? And all of those other cases that they tried to implicate him in, like in Pennsylvania, when he lived in Pennsylvania and a woman went missing in Pennsylvania, they're like, oh, it might have been him. Oh, wait, he was 12. Well, still, he could have started when he was 12. He was really smart, I mean, that was so freaking nuts, was it not? And we haven't heard anything about that in so long. So why are they going to get all hyper about that and then drop it? They've also kind of dropped the whole incel thing, which started before the arrest. And then they've also quit spazzing out about him being a vegan. It makes me wonder if he really was vegan or is vegan. I don't know, but it's like, they tried to say that it was because he was a vegan and an incel is why he so savagely attacked these beautiful college kids. And it's like, I will admit that I think a vegan diet can make people hangry, but not to that extent. and, and yeah, being an incel can certainly make people do weird things, like that guy who started the whole incel thing. What's that douchebag's name that wrote his little manifesto and unalived a bunch of chicks in Southern California, like San Luis Obispo? You guys know who I'm talking about. The original incel. Oh, and his stupid manifesto. Not finding it. Very good looking kid. His parents worked in Hollywood. Very, let's see, son of Hollywood producer. That should bring it up. So he was very entitled. Elliot Rodger. Okay, I'm so glad I looked it up, because Elliot Rodger and then Papa Rodger in the whole Idaho4 case, remember that? They were saying that that's where the Papa Rodger name came from, was because of Elliot Rodger. So he was a misogynistic incel hero. Interesting too, the way they're making this Luigi out to be some type of twisted hero. So before I wrap up, I wanted to talk about the Luigi case to you guys, because a rumor on the street is that it was not an employee of McDonald's that identified him, and it was not a customer at McDonald's that identified him. Have you heard this yet? Is this the first time you're hearing it? This is big, if so, because I think it's true. What identified him was facial recognition at McDonald's, ordering at the kiosk. And then McDonald's didn't want to let everybody know that they're being spied on when they come into McDonald's, basically. So then they came up with their cockamamie story about how an employee called, but it was a customer that recognized him. And I was like, why would anybody not just call with their cell phone the authorities to get the $50,000 reward? Why would they talk to other people about it? And just because they don't work there, why would they think that somebody that works there has to be the one that makes the call? I'm just like, this doesn't add up. So as soon as I heard this weird rumor that it was facial recognition that busted him, it wasn't rats behind the counter, and it wasn't that, McDonald's employees are going to snitch. It's the technology that snitched. And so it's a lot like the backpack too, because, I was talking about that in one of my very last videos, how Luigi's backpack that he left in Central Park, I think the brand was Apex. It's like a $280 backpack. And the owner of the company was like, oh, that's our backpack. I can help you guys track who bought it, because when you buy one of our expensive backpacks, you can register it. So he thought he was going to be like the hero, and that he was going to be doing some good PR for his company. And he got a lot of backlash, and immediately people were just like, wow, so you're just going to give away all the information on people that register your products? And like initially the sales of those backpacks skyrocketed, and then it dropped and flatlined. So, people are very concerned about that whole like Big Brother is watching you thing. Personally, I don't have that concern, because I think it's good that we've got all this surveillance for when people commit crimes. That's my opinion. I'm sorry if that is exploitative or bothersome to some people. I understand the other side of the argument, but if you're not doing illegal things, then that type of surveillance can protect all of us. Sure, it can be dangerous if you buy one of those nice backpacks and you register it in your name, and then you go give it to Goodwill or sell it at your yard sale or something, sell it on eBay, and then somebody commits a crime and they trace it back to you and you get arrested. Yeah, that's bad. That's very, very bad. Sorry, I'm late. Hello, Annabes. So yeah, so it sounds like that it's basically technology and surveillance that is what caused the identification and the arrest of Luigi Mangione. And it wasn't people recognizing him when he was sitting in there eating his food. That whole case is still so sketchy and bizarre. Like, if he never had that insurance and his family never had that insurance, like, what would be the motivation? And you don't have to figure out the motivation to charge somebody. You know, law enforcement doesn't need that. The jury doesn't need that. But it helps you try to make sense of it. And yeah, I just think that whole case sounds suspicious to me. And then when I look at how many similarities there are between Luigi and Koberger, it just spooks me right out, you know, right down to their bushy eyebrows in Pennsylvania and graduate school and being really smart and being an incel. I mean, haven't they accused Luigi of being an incel? And I never thought about it with Koberger that maybe he's not straight, maybe he's bi, maybe he's gay. It's never crossed my mind with Koberger. But I've wondered that about Luigi for a lot of reasons before I even thought, well, he did go to an all boys school. Not to say that all people that go to single gender educational institutions are that way, but there is a strong propensity for it, you guys. I know people who've gone to private girls' schools or private boys' schools. There's a very high propensity for that type of thing, you know, friends with benefits. So yeah, maybe I'll wrap up since I've been on for an hour and 45 minutes. I apologize profusely for starting out so rocky, and I hope that I can just, you know, put some information into the description so that people can fast forward to the beginning when I'm like losing my volume and everything. So, yeah, I don't want to advertise for Gigi for the doggone truth, but I do want to let you guys know that that channel is still out there. That is crazy, isn't it? So one of my mods texted me and said, sudden tech issues as soon as you mentioned JP Diddy. That's funny because I wasn't talking about Puff Daddy. I was talking about JP Miller, but yeah, it's still the P and the DIDD Y. So that makes sense. Anyway, I was just going to show you this ugly mug.
I called in to TREX757, which I've been a huge supporter of. I laid out that you must go and watch all the videos in the album because, like, the 2,000 people who brought up the issue of the year 2021, being when BK was potentially caught on Google Maps on Melinda, has already been addressed, hasn't it, to everybody who's here on this page that's actually paying attention.
She's so freaking hateful. True crime channels can't handle being told what's up. Hashtag true crime, hashtag true crime channel. So this is an old video. So this girl, Gigi, man, she's way ahead of the game. She knows everything. See, I think she's part of the Koberger mafia, basically trying to slander him, trying to scapegoat him. She's got 671 subscribers. Her channel is called Jenn, Jenn. The Daggum Truth on TikTok, which is DAGUMTRUTH, and then Truth Crime Fan on X. Come on over, she says. Ew. Sorry to even bring her up, but I'm glad that I looked at this because I didn't realize not only did she put this together a year and a half ago, this video that I just played the beginning of, it's a short and it's from April 25th of 2023. I guess I'll put that in the description so you can track it down easily, with Jewels of All Trades and with Plunder's new video. So yeah, like I was impressed at Plunder's thoroughness, but like I said, I was thorough too, and I watched the whole thing, and I was just like, the video that Plunder put together basically proves that he has no connection to it. And I don't know if that's what she was trying to prove, because the title then was misleading. And I don't like that bait switch stuff. I think there's way too much of that on this platform, and I have no tolerance for it. But Jewels of All Trades, man, she just went to it. So Jules just did her video, I think today. Paula's was from yesterday or the day before. And this Jenn, so far ahead of us. True crime channels can't handle being told what's up. Yo, girl, yeah. Where's your freaking letter that you said was valid that went and disappeared into the ether? Okay. I don't have any respect for that channel. I think that channel is bogus. I think that content creator is an actress. Ugh, gross, gross, gross. So the other big thing with Daisy's case that's coming out a lot right now that I've spoken to some is the thing about Ramir Satterthwaite, I think is how you say his last name. I want to emphasize that Daisy tried to get custody of Ramir Satterthwaite when he said that the kid wasn't his. So the mom, Ramir's mother, was allegedly 16 when she got pregnant from Jay-Z, who was only 22 at the time. It's not nearly as big of an age difference as what we're looking at with the 13-year-old alleged victim, or what we're looking at with his wife and how old she was when they actually met, which seems like that is the title of my video for tomorrow. So we'll get more into that tomorrow. But yeah, that son, Ramir, is not giving up. And I'm really glad right before I came on live, I saw that Down the Rabbit Hole was covering it. And I think that that channel does great work. I also think it's kind of funny that, what is it? I'm looking at all these notes. What was it that I thought was kind of funny? Brain went dead. As I'm reading too many things, brain is going in too many different directions. Oh, that BJ Investigates, or that Surprise Witness, that content creator, she put a short together that I'll put a link to in the description because it's really cute and funny. You know, she just doesn't want to get all the heat that she's gotten for speculating that maybe Daisy's attorney has too many clients and he lost track of his facts when he unredacted J-Lo's name off of a memorandum that was like an addendum to this lawsuit and the filings, the court filings. And all that does for me is put the nail in the coffin. The way she got drugged and the way her video got taken down in way less than 24 hours. And then people are trying to scapegoat her, like, oh, well, she's the one who started the rumor. She didn't start the rumor, but I feel like I might start the rumor with my observation that them scrubbing that off the internet, to me, was the biggest tell, that they scrubbed it because they don't want that information out there. they don't want the questions out there, because she wasn't putting any information out that wasn't already out. She was just asking questions in a way that obviously got under their skin. So yeah. What else? So Blue Cantrell and MIA are just a couple of the phenomenal recording artists whose careers were basically potentially crashed and burned by the industry that was trying to keep certain people at the top. And those same certain people might have crashed and burned the lives of Tupac and Biggie. Might have. That's all. And I think I will wrap it up here, as I keep saying I'm going to. All right, you guys, peace out, love and light. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. It is almost about 20 minutes to 4 in the afternoon. I got some stuff I got to get done today. It's only 2 days before Christmas Eve. So what do you need to get done before Christmas? Not to stress anybody out. I am a little bit stressed out. I will admit it. I got to go get busy with some stuff. And I'm still going to try to do my live tomorrow. I'm still going to be trying to do as much content as I can over the holidays, because it's good for me. And I hope it's good for you guys too. I would imagine that there'll be a lot of content creators putting out new content over the holidays, but then of course there's a lot that won't. There's a lot that will need to take some time off, will choose to take time off, or their systems will just shut down because they're getting too close to some information, right? So love and light, take really good care of yourself. Hopefully you can get some exercise, sunshine, fresh air, produce, protein, and stay hydrated. And I don't know if you can hear the coughing in the background. I'll have to edit that out. Somebody's choking on a hairball or something, choking on a one-man dust ball, to quote back one of my favorite musicians. All right, peace out, you guys. Love and light. Ending this stream now. Have a great one. Thanks for watching.